Hello, we are back with chapter 6 today. So when we left off, they were running into a cave, and it told us they weren't safe once they were inside. So, sounds like it'll be a good time, right? Chapter 6. My scream echoed off the walls of the cave. It sounded like a horror movie. And the dinosaur that came from the back of the cave was a nightmare come true. It was over 15 feet tall and 30 feet long. It moved toward me on two powerful legs. Its arms were short, but there were sharp claws at the end of its three-fingered hands. But its mouth was what really caught my eye. Its big jaws were filled with long, jagged teeth, and it seemed to smile when it saw me. "Run, Ralphie," I heard the Frizz yell. "That's an Allosaurus. It's a carnivore." In case you don't remember, a carnivore is a meat eater. I remembered, and I ran. The Allosaurus made a swipe at me with its claws, but I ducked just in time. I saw Ms. Frizzle and the rest of the class running to hide under the roots of a giant tree not far away. I sped through the underbrush to join them. "That was close, Ralphie," the Frizz said, as I slid to safety under the tree. "Too close," I added. "I hope that Allosaurus has a low EQ. "Bad news," the Frizz said. "Allosaurus is on the smart side for a dinosaur." The Allosaurus came crashing through the trees, closer to where we were hiding. "Miss Frizzle," D.A. said, "can we go home now?" "I'm sorry, D.A., the Frizz whispered. "My laptop is back on the bus. And anyway, we can't leave without Phoebe." That's right. Phoebe also ran off after the babies. So there they are, running from the Allosaurus. Phoebe is in that picture. So, oops, somebody should have caught the illustrator on that one. Just then a prehistoric mammal that looked a lot like a mouse crawled over Wanda's foot. She let out another blood-curdling scream. I saw the head of the Allosaurus stop in midair. It seemed to take a few moments to think about the scream, then it headed in our direction. Dino data file. An Allosaurus was the biggest meat eater in North America in Jurassic times. It ate mostly small and medium-sized plant eaters. The Allosaurus couldn't break its fall with its small front feet when running, but it could get up again. Fun fact, when hunting in a pack, a group of Allosaurus would even kill a huge plant eater like a Diplodocus. "Sorry," Wanda whispered. I looked at Ms. Frizzle. Her red hair seemed to be sticking straight out of her head. She held up a finger for us to be quiet. The Allosaurus stomped closer, then stopped. We heard the sound of more big feet thundering through the forest. The Allosaurus had heard them too. It reared up higher on its back legs and opened its mouth. In a few minutes, two Stegosaurus came into view. They crashed through the trees, swinging their heavy bodies from side to side. Dino data file. The Stegosaurus was 9 feet tall and 30 feet long. It had 17 bony plates sticking up out of its back. It used these plates for temperature control, defense, and mating. Fun fact, Stegosaurus had a flexible tail that ended with 4-foot spikes. The spikes could wound and drive off a predator. So, an average room is usually like 9 or 10 feet tall. And then the hallway outside here is 30 feet long. So imagine a dinosaur as big as maybe a hallway in your school. Wild. Dinosaur Defense by Tim. With hungry meat eaters all around, plant-eating dinosaurs needed all the protection they could get. Triceratops had sharp horns. Stegosaurus had tail spikes. Plateosaurus had thumb claws. Diplodocus and Apatosaurus were really huge. Sauropedo was covered with bony plates like armor. Ankylosaurus had a club at the end of its tail. Hypsilophodon used its speed to escape from predators. I've never seen that dinosaur name before. The Allosaurus had forgotten all about little old us. Its brain was busy figuring out how to get a Stegosaurus steak for dinner. The carnivore waited until the two Stegosaurus were walking close by. Then it attacked. The Allosaurus slashed out the smaller Stegosaurus with its sharp claws. It made a deep wound in the side of the young dinosaur. But the fight wasn't over. The older Stegosaurus came around to the side of the Allosaurus. Turning its back to the enemy, it whipped out its spiked tail. The Allosaurus roared in pain as the spike dug into its flesh. The battle was short but brutal. The Allosaurus attacked the young Stegosaurus until it fell dead on the ground. The older Stegosaurus was wounded, but it got away. Then the Allosaurus fell on its prey and began to devour it. Gross, Wanda said. I can't watch. This is the perfect time for us to escape, the Frizz said, and we still have to find Phoebe. We crept out from under the giant tree roots, then we headed back to where we had last seen Phoebe. Phoebe, the Frizz called out. Her voice echoed through the Jurassic forest. Over here, we heard a familiar voice answer. In a few minutes, we found Phoebe sitting in a grassy clearing. She was playing with the 10 baby Diplodocus. She looked really happy. Can we take them home, Miss Frizzle? Phoebe asked. They make great classroom pets. Until they get a few months old, Tim said. By then they'd be bigger than our classroom. No, Phoebe, the Frizz said. They belong just where they are, in Jurassic times.
Could you please go to Mrs. Flowers' room? Natalie, could you please go to Mrs. Flowers' room?
Ms. Frizzle, I interrupted her to ask, do you smell something burning? The Frizz stopped to sniff the air. So did everyone else. A forest fire, the Frizz shouted. Look, there's a wall of smoke coming through the trees. Head back to the bus, she ordered. It's time to say goodbye to Jurassic times. This is better than going to the library. And there's Phoebe, covered with a bunch of baby dinosaurs. But what about the babies, Phoebe pleaded. We can't just leave them here. You know what? I saw a river when we landed. It was just on the other side of their nest, Carlos said. Maybe we could carry them to the other side where the fire won't reach them. Great idea, Carlos, the Frizz said, but hurry. We picked up the Diplodocus babies and ran with them toward the magic school jet in the river. Behind us, we could hear the fire crackling through the trees. Other dinosaurs were starting to run from it, too. Finally, we saw the bus jet in the river. Phoebe carried the first baby across the shallow river. I brought across the last one. When they were all safe on the other side of the water, we ran for the bus jet. Wow, I said as I sat down. These seats are getting hot. Miss Frizzle was busy typing on her keyboard. I looked out the window and saw a wall of flame coming toward us. Just as things were getting too hot to handle, we all heard a loud whoosh, and the Jurassic period was left behind us in a big blur. Alright, so next time we'll see where they go in Chapter 7. We're almost done with this book. We have 3 chapters left. Exciting. Alright, see you soon. Didn't hit stop.